Reggie Miller, kind enough to join us. Reg, good morning. Let me start with a couple of questions that we've been asking. Do the Raptors deserve an asterisk for this championship?
Absolutely not.
Good.
Are you kidding me? They earned that.
Okay.
It's not their fault KD was out. It's not their fault Clay went down at the end of the third. No, that was earned championship. They were the better team. They were the more consistent team. And if you look throughout this series, the players that stepped up for them, other than Kawhi Leonard, Fred VanVleet, Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, who really came into his own and was a superstar, starting from game one in that career high, 32 points on 14 of 17 shooter. They had the better complement of players. The superstars, don't get me wrong, on Golden State. But in terms of a complete team, was the Toronto Raptors. Absolutely zero asterisks, in my opinion. They earned this championship.
Is the Warriors run over?
Yes. I know everyone is saying no, but here's why I say yes. Now, when you say the run over, meaning will they get to another NBA Finals? I say no, because you have KD. We don't even know if KD is going to be in a Golden State Warrior uniform next season. He's going to be out for a year. You've got Klay Thompson with the ACL injury going to be out at least a year. They're saying 9 to 10 months. And you don't know if he's going to be in a Golden State Warrior uniform. Who comes in to be those guys if they're not going to be there? Let's say both of them do resign. They're both out a year. So next year is out of the equation. Are they going to come back the same players? KD is, 32, I believe?
He's going to be
coming off
31 opening night, so he'll probably be 32 by the time he comes back.
By the time he plays again in a Warriors uniform, he'll be 32.
If he's in a Warriors uniform.
If he's in a Warriors uniform, coming back from a ruptured Achilles. Klay Thompson, I believe, is 30, right?
I believe so.
Coming back from an ACL injury. Now, technology and science has changed, which is great. That's on the side of the players. But let's face it, are they going to be the same players? Is KD going to be the same player after that injury? Is he going to be as dominant after the ACL? That's what is the run over getting to the NBA Finals. I have to say, and on top of that, Steph Curry is going to be 2 years older by the time these guys join them again. So, yeah, can they get pieces? Possibly. But I don't think will they go far in playoffs? Yes. But to say that they're going to be winning championships and back in the NBA Finals anytime soon, certainly not next season, because you have two of your main players are going to be out of the equation.
More important for this run for the Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr or Steph Curry?
Wow, 1A, 1B. Look, Steve did and his staff did a wonderful job. And it's hard to feel sorry for guys that have won 3 out of 4 championships, right?
Yeah.
Right? So it's hard for me to feel sorry for you. But the injuries, obviously, were mounting. And let's not forget, Kevon Looney with the separated collarbone wasn't even supposed to play the rest of the series and gutted it out. DeMarcus Cousins, look how long, and look what he's looked like coming back from an ACL, or excuse me, from an Achilles injury, okay? Look how erratic his play. He played well in a couple games, in other games was MIA. So that's what, if you're asking about the run being over, I mean, there's case in point of a guy coming back from an Achilles injury and how long it takes to get back to form. So Steve Kerr did a great job of piecemealing this, getting them all the way to the NBA Finals. For them to do what they did against Portland without KD and to find a way, it was just remarkable. For them to win versus James Harden and the Rockets after KD went down, remarkable. They just ran into a better team. They really did. And here's what shows you the margin of error is so small in the NBA. And you and I talked about this. We were calling that Milwaukee Bucks Toronto Raptors series. Milwaukee went up 2-0, and it looked like it was going to be a cakewalk for the Bucks. Milwaukee blew their chance in Game 3 in that double overtime.
Yeah.
They had that game in the bag, and they ended up losing that game. And that gave Toronto confidence. They blew them out in Game 4, even the series at 2-2, and went on to win in 6. And if you're Giannis Antetokounmpo, Mike Budenholzer, and you're sitting back and you're looking at Kawhi Raptor, Fred VanVleet, and those collection of players holding up that trophy, you're saying to yourself, that could have been us. Because they looked so dominant in those first 2 games versus Toronto. You're thinking, this is going to be a 5-gamer. This series is over. And Toronto, they found a way. They won Game 3 in double overtime, and a light bulb went off. That's the margin of error, because this very well could have been the Milwaukee Bucks championship.
Yeah. What will and what should Kawhi do?
The King of the North, in my opinion, should re-sign with the Raptors. Everything, the infrastructure is in place. Now, mind you, I say this if Raptors brass, Masai Ujiri, who needs to get all the credit, a lot of this, for the success. You fire the defending coach of the year, and you bring in Nick Nurse, who was an assistant, 1 seat over, and win a championship. You send one of your most beloved players in DeMar DeRozan and get back Kawhi Leonard, and you win a championship. If I'm the King of the North and I'm Kawhi, I re-sign with Toronto. What will he do? I think he marches to the beat of his own drum. I think he pulls a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in Milwaukee Bucks saying, okay, guys, I got you a championship. Thank you. I want to go to L.A. I think he's gone. But I love to, because the grass will not always be greener, but I can see him in a Clipper uniform. I really can, because the infrastructure and that setup is very much like the setup in Toronto. You got a collection of role players that are good, not great.
And young.
They all do their jobs. And young. And they will do their jobs surrounded by a superstar in Kawhi Leonard. And I think hey, I delivered a championship to you guys. And on my way back, when I collect my ring, the standing ovation, there should be a statue out front in Jurassic Park of Kawhi Leonard. Yes, a statue already.
I just saw this. The Action Network has odds of who is the team to beat for the NBA championship next year. You want to take a guess?
I'm sure they're probably going to have Golden State Warriors on there.
Nope. I think you'll be shocked.
Toronto Raptors.
Nope.
Philadelphia 76ers.
Nope. We may be here for a little while, Reg.
Lakers.
Yep.
How the heck can you put the Lakers on there?
The Lakers.
How in the heck can you put the Lakers on there?
I don't know. The Lakers installed as the favorites to win the title at plus 450. Behind the Lakers, future odds are the Clippers and the Milwaukee Bucks.
I'll tell you what, Theodore, it actually does make a little bit of sense because of the turmoil now that you see with Golden State and the injuries and not knowing where Clay and KD are going and how long, if and when they do come back.
But if you don't get Anthony Davis on the Lakers, then... If you
don't, that's why I think they know something that we don't know. And we know that there's been conversations with David Griffin, the new general manager, president of the Pelicans, along with the Knicks, the Celtics, and the Lakers, right? So negotiations have begun. So they must know something that we don't know. But if you don't land Anthony Davis, then I don't know how you could put those odds up there. If you're going by the current team with LeBron and what we saw last season, you've got to be kidding me.
Well, you're looking at this, and you're looking at a future bet. You're obviously looking at Anthony Davis joining LeBron. The question is, what are you giving up, and can you get another free agent to come to town? Because if you said you can keep Kuzma, which I don't think will happen, and you have Anthony Davis, you have Jimmy Butler, and you have LeBron, that's
I like it. Oh, I like that team.
Yeah, it's probably the team to beat in the West.
Oh, yeah. I'll roll with that team.
A healthy Portland team. Denver, with another year experience. We don't know what Golden State's going to have. Houston's in a state of flux here. So, it might be the Lakers if that were the case. But you still got to get Anthony Davis.
It makes sense if the domino of Anthony Davis is coming to the Lakers. Then I can see why they're the favorites. But if they don't land Anthony Davis, you can't put them in that conversation.
Talking to Reggie Miller, the Hall of Famer from Turner Sports. Also, we love to talk legacies here. Now Kawhi has won his second title and the MVP now the second time. We look at Kawhi differently, I think. Like a quarterback who has multiple Super Bowls, you end up looking at them differently. I don't know where Kawhi fit. Kawhi's name never comes up during the regular season, ever. Because he doesn't turn in any of those games where you go, oh, my God, you see what Kawhi. When's the last time you heard somebody say, during a regular season, oh, did you see what Kawhi did? Never. But in the postseason, he has this innate ability to do some very impressive things. He did it in San Antonio. He did it here. This time he did it with his own team. And this load management stuff here. He only played
more of that.
He only played 60 games.
More superstars doing it.
I know.
You're going to see a lot more superstars taking nights off to be more fresh come playoff times because he played 60 games. He played 60 games this year, but played the most minutes in the postseason.
Yeah.
Why?
But maybe we're looking at this, Reg, where the commissioner goes, you know what? Let's do 70 games here. Let me meet you halfway here. Nothing drastic, but let's go 70 games. I wonder, as we move forward with this load management term, how that affects the commissioner and the owners as they move forward as well.
I don't know if the owners are going to sign off on that because now you're taking money out of the pockets of the owners. So I don't know if they're going to go that way. But here, I will say this about Kawhi. That's the casual fan saying those comments, which you just said, hey, I can't remember that game by Kawhi Leonard. You ask any real baller, college or especially professional, about Kawhi Leonard, and they will tell you that he is the truth at both ends of the floor.
Is he the best player in basketball?
He's not the best player in basketball, but he's the best two-way player in basketball. Okay. He's not the best player in basketball, but he's the best two-way player. Right. Gets it done at both ends of the floor.
Okay, but as the best two-way player, where does he rank as the best player?
Top 5.
All right. That's sort of that feeling there. But I also wonder, do we look at Kawhi differently as one of the greats of all time because of what he just did with this win in Toronto?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, you and I talked on Monday, and I said, hypothetical to Fritzy about, are they going to retire his jersey in San Antonio and in Toronto now? We know in Toronto his jersey will be retired. The question is, will they harbor any ill will feelings of how he left there? And I think he kind of addressed that last night, saying that people thought he was faking an injury and that he didn't want to play for Popovich. I don't think that was the case. This dude, he goes by his own feelings. He just wasn't feeling it in San Antonio. And he helped deliver them another championships. And people tend to forget that, as well as he was Finals MVP going against a seasoned LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and Miami Heat team, right?
Yeah.
He was a young Kawhi and got Finals MVP. This time around, a collection of role players. I'm not even quite sure, was there a top 30 player on Toronto's team that just won the championship? Do you consider Kyle Lowry a top 30, Pascal Siakam top 30? Is there
in the league?
Top 30 player in the league?
No.
And you win a championship.
Yeah.
Okay, at least when he was with San Antonio, not that Tim Duncan was a top 30 at the time, but you had Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili. I mean, you had guys that understood how to win championships. He took a team with a bunch of great role players and won a championship. Yeah. We have to look at him differently. We have to look at those two Finals MVP. Yes, right now he is one of the all-time greats.
I know you got to get the kids off to school and got to be Father of the Year, but thanks for joining us on short notice, Reg.
I appreciate it, Theodore. You are the best. Thank you, guys. I love you.
That's Reggie Miller.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.